Hi Taurus, welcome to your March 2019 Tarology 33 reading. We have a Celtic cross spread in front of us, which is normally a 10 card spread, but you did get some extra cards that came out. And we also have 2 oracle cards to look at the end and a mudra card as well. So quite a bit to get to, so we'll get started with the main spread. Starting with the main situation. And in that position we have the 3 of Pentacles. So this is actually a Capricorn card. So some of you could be dealing with a Capricorn. Maybe you're collaborating with a Capricorn. This actually represents the middle 10 degrees of Capricorn as well, which is where Saturn is right now. And you guys are going to have Mars going through your sign all of March. So at one point Mars will actually make a trine connection with Saturn. So maybe around that time is when you actually get the most traction on the situation. You know, this could be pretty much anything. It could be that you're working on home improvement. Actually, Sagittarius got this card in the same position when I did their reading. So maybe some of you are working with the Sagittarius as well. But yeah, this just, to me, this usually represents building something long-lasting and that you'll be pleased with as well. It's like a blend of Saturn and Venus energies, but in a positive way. So, you know, the Saturn lends that stability, then the Venus lends that, you know, beauty or just something that you're pleased with, happy with overall. And I get the feeling that that's what you're working towards. And then in the Challenger obstacle position, we have the Queen of Wands. This is normally an Aries card for me, so there's a few ways that this could be playing out. For some of you, you could definitely be dealing with an actual Aries, and maybe, you know, you guys are butting heads with how best to move forward or ever with the project. That's a possibility. This could be a boss, for example. Maybe you want to do something one way in the workplace, and they want to do it another way, and you guys are kind of butting heads about how to get the project completed. This could also be a timeline too, though. This could be pointing to maybe a deadline. Maybe this is something you're working on and you have to get it done by the time the sun comes into Aries, which would be towards the end of March. That's another way that these two energies together could be playing out. And like I said, I'm given that Sagittarius had this card in that position too. You know, even though this is technically my Aries card, it's certainly a possibility that you could be dealing with a Sagittarius as well. And maybe you guys are, you know, having a little difficulty getting on the same page, moving forward with something. And I mean, there's also the fact that, like I was saying too, you have Mars in your sign right now, and, you know, Aries is ruled by Mars. So this could also be pointing to Mars. You know, maybe this is saying that's the Challenger obstacle, is to, you know, get it done while you still have Mars in your sign too, which would be basically, I think for the rest of March you'll have Mars in your sign, and it goes into Gemini starting early April. So maybe that's all it's really saying is, you know, try to get as much done with that energy while you have it. Because it could be about 2 more years until you have Mars back in your sign again. So, you know, it's not the rarest of transits, but when you do have it, that'll give you that nice energetic boost. You usually want to try to take advantage of it if you have something you need to get done. In the foundation position, we have the 9 of Swords in reverse. So definitely not the best card to get, but when it's in reverse, that's definitely a positive shift. So this could be for some of you just coming out of depression, for example. This could just be the end of anxiety as well. Again, maybe if this was a deadline you've been dealing with, you know, maybe now you're coming out of anxiety because with Mars being in your sign, you know, Mars arrived in your sign basically right in the middle of February. So maybe Mars coming into your sign gave you that energy, and now with that you feel like, okay, you're not as anxious now. You're like, okay, I could actually get this done. Especially, like I said, it'll be making some harmonious aspects with Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, which is a fellow Earth sign of yours. So those would be supportive energies working that way. Whereas before, when Mars was moving through Aries, you know, it was squaring Saturn and Pluto, so those could have given you a bit more difficulty So for some of you, this could even be school too, since Capricorn is your 9th house. Maybe it's saying that, you guys are trying to wrap up something, maybe you're taking a course, or maybe even, if not like college, let's say, maybe you're trying to prepare for an exam of some kind, a certification, and maybe that's what you've been worried about, but now things are, starting to move forward in a little bit more of a positive manner. In the past position, we have the Ace of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the Eight of Wands. So there's a few ways these 3 cards could be playing out. With the Ace of Swords here, to me this could just be saying that someone came forward, right? That would be that Knight of Cups energy, in a truthful manner and communicated some truth to you. And that's what this would represent. Maybe it reopened the lines of communication. You guys are going to have Mercury retrograde in the sign of Pisces, which is your 11th house. So maybe, even though this is in the past position, maybe this is pointing to the fact that a friend from the past, maybe that you had a falling out with, maybe they come back around during the time of Pisces, right? I mean, we'll be in the time of Pisces by the time March starts. So maybe that's what this is signifying. That, okay, once the sun moved into Pisces, you received some honest communication, and maybe that just reopened the lines of communication with that person. And this could certainly be a love offer as well, since it is the Knight of Cups. But this definitely is usually my Pisces court card, so it's either going to be pointing to the timeline of Pisces, or possibly an actual Pisces. It could be any water sign, though. And it looks like, whatever it was, whatever they say to you, it seems to reopen the lines of communication. Or maybe it's you guys who are the ones who are reopening the lines of communication with them. But whatever the case, everything in the upright here looks like it should open up the lines of communication, and you guys get back on track. And maybe that's also to do with you coming out of that anxiety and possible depression as well. Alright, in the position of the present, we have the Four of Pentacles paired up with the Eight of Cups. So these 2 cards together, again, I see them tying in with these energies too, which is to say, you might have been feeling closed off, shut off in some kind of way with the Four of Pentacles, and now moving forward with the Eight of Cups, it says that you're moving out of that phase now, leaving it behind. It could have even been an epiphany that you had without directly communicating with the person. Maybe it's someone you had a falling out with. Maybe when the energy shifted to Pisces, it gave you some kind of insight as to what, maybe happened with the situation. And then maybe that made you realize, okay, you know what, I'm going to leave this energy behind of feeling shut off, and maybe it gives you the impetus to go reconnect with that person. But yeah, I mean, for some of you, this could also just be representing trying to consider where you want to invest your time. So let's say if this was, for example, a difficulty in your job, right, in your workplace, you were just butting heads with someone too often, and you were like, okay, I'm not really getting traction on this, so you're deciding, you know what, do I want to continue to invest in this, or do I want to walk away and find a job that's more fulfilling for me, right? Maybe that's what you're looking at right now. Just trying to see, if this workplace has you feeling that way, right? Maybe that's what it is. You decide that you want to work elsewhere because it's causing you all this anxiety, and then, making that decision and moving forward with it with Mars in your sign, and then Uranus coming back to your sign as well. Those 2 placements might energize you and give you the actual, impetus to finally leave it behind. And the reason why that could definitely be the case is because in the near future position, we have the Fool card and the Six of Wands. So these 2 cards together, the Fool definitely represents some kind of a new start. So, whether it be, like we said, reconnecting with a friend from the past, or even maybe it was a love relationship or a love interest at the very least, since there was the Knight of Cups, that could just be pointing to that type of a connection. And feeling victorious about it. So maybe that's what's going on there. And like I said, maybe for some of you deciding to leave a job. Like I said, if you were just, maybe this is a boss that everything you were trying to get done, they seem to be standing in your way, right? Not letting you get any forward progress on it. Always wanting things to go their way, and then maybe it had you feeling shut off. And then maybe, you decide, I'm just going to walk away from that. And maybe even you had it planned for a while, so maybe what that Four of Pentacles was is saying that, you started saving up your money in preparation for that, right? Saying, okay, you know what, I'm going to start being a little more conservative with my money, and when I get a chance to, I'm just going to leave the job and try to get employment elsewhere. Because in the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Ten of Wands. So this represents feeling burdened sometimes. So that could be the energy that you felt like you were in with this job. Like maybe you felt like they were giving you too much of the work to do, right? And you felt like, all right, well, I either need someone else to come help me get these things done, or, you need more money, whatever the case may be. And this is just how you were feeling. Or maybe this is saying that you're just moving on from that situation. It's like, all right, I'm taking all of my experience that I have with me, right? And I'm moving on, applying for a new job and starting over. Maybe with that Fool energy, that's what that points to. But for some of you, it doesn't have to be anything too dramatic like that. It could just be referring to the fact, again, that you have Mars in your sign. Maybe you're just taking on a lot right now. Maybe it's mostly by choice. Like I said, maybe if this is some big project you're working on and you have a deadline, maybe all that Queen of Wands represents is a deadline, saying, okay, either by the end of the month or when the sun goes in Aries around the 21st of March, you have to have it completed. So maybe now you're just like really digging in. The Mars energy is kind of giving you that boost along with the Uranus energy back in your sign, and now you're like, okay, I could actually get this done. And then maybe once you do, you feel that sense of relief, since this is the near future position. So that could represent maybe when the sun goes into Aries. You feel that sense of relief, feel that sense of victory, because maybe you actually get the praise for a job well done when you get the task completed. That's certainly a possibility. In the position of the environment's influence on the situation, you have the Sun card. So again, between this and that Six of Wands energy in the near future, this definitely seems to point to you getting some kind of recognition in a positive way for something. So again, like I said, it could be completion of something at your current job, maybe even a creative project you were working on. It could even be saying that, this is when you put in your resume somewhere else, right? Because you were feeling unappreciated at your old job, you immediately get a bunch of responses, right? A bunch of people are interested and they call you in for interviews. Or maybe you get hired immediately at a job and you're like, wow, this is a way better opportunity than I originally had, right? So that's what you're celebrating. But this could just represent being in that playful, youthful energy too. So maybe again with the Mars energy and Uranus coming back into your sign, it was there for a bit last year, then it went back into Aries. Now it's going to be in your sign for about 7-8 years, I believe. So it's a pretty long transit, and maybe that just has you feeling this bit of an energy boost, basically, and just feeling more playful, like a burden's been lifted. Again, if this was, especially if you were feeling depressed or just anxious about something, seems like as the month progresses, you're going to move out of that, which is good. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Knight of Wands. So this represents Sagittarius energy. And with this in this position, this could just be as simple as saying that, you're hoping to travel some, maybe, again, you were working on some huge project, right? You had a deadline to get it done by the time the sun moved into Aries. or at the very least by the time Mars leaves Aries, or leaves your sign rather, which would be right at the start of April. So maybe you're just really pushing forward, getting it done. Okay, I have to get this done, I have to get it done. And then by the time that project is done, you're like, okay, I need a vacation. Maybe that's what the sun represents. Just getting out in the sun, taking a vacation. Knight of Wands could also represent that too. Looks like it'd be, if that's what it is, it looks like it'd be a pretty decent vacation. Not like a 2-hour road trip, weekend getaway type thing. Looks like it'd be a bigger vacation than that, but maybe that's what it is. Or maybe even not, if not a physical vacation, just getting a break from the work. The sense of relief from being done with whatever this big project you were working on was. That's certainly a possibility, especially with the Two of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck as well. Could just feel like, you're really struggling to get everything lined up and get it taken care of. And you basically have the 2, the 3, and the 4. So those are all the Capricorn regular cards in the deck anyway. So definitely a lot of Capricorn energy, which is why I say for some of you this could have been a school thing too. Maybe you're just, if not back in college, just trying to get some kind of certification. Maybe you needed to get certified for something to take the next level up in your job. And maybe you get through it, you find out that you succeeded, right? And then that's where the recognition comes in, and maybe possibly some kind of a raise, a pay increase. That's the vibe that I'm getting there primarily. All right, and then in the outcome position, you have the Knight of Swords in reverse. So this is actually the court card for Gemini. And so the main thing that I'm thinking of, it's certainly possible that some of you could be dealing with the Gemini. Absolutely. But with it in the reverse, I think about, okay, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And I think about the fact that Mercury, again, will be retrograde in the sign of Pisces for the majority of the month. And that's your house of friendships. So this could just be pointing to a friend coming back into your life. Like we said, we saw there as well. There was certainly a possibility that this could just be you reconnecting with them. Sometimes it could represent aggressive communication, but when it's in the reverse, it's usually avoiding that. So maybe if you, again, maybe you were worried you were going to get into another conflict with this person, right? But maybe you have some kind of epiphany, or maybe they come to you early in the month and communicate and try to clear the misunderstanding up. So you're like, okay, cool, I avoided that conflict, right? It could just be saying for you as well, though, to make sure that you try to avoid conflicts, because with Mercury retrograde in your 11th house, that can increase the possibility of conflict with your friends. So, just understand that that's the energy going on. It'll be over by the end of the month pretty much. So, if something seems like it rubs you the wrong way, just the warning there could be to just try to give it a little bit of time, because between Mercury retrograde and then having Mars in your sign, it might have you feeling a little bit more antsy and ready to to respond to something in that kind of way. But yeah, for some of you, I definitely see that as pointing to someone returning from the past. And I get primarily in the friendship capacity, given where that retrograde is taking place, but it could be a romantic partner as well. And again, if this was something big you were working on, whether it was schoolwork, a job, or just a personal private project you were working on, creative project, maybe it's just saying you were, so distant from your friends because you were so wrapped up in it, right? You didn't even have time to hang out with your friends. And now that you finally got it done, you're like, oh, all right, I could reconnect with my friends, basically. All right, so we'll take a look at the oracle cards now. We have Poised. There's the artwork for it, and number 48. I'll read the messages for that. Okay, it says essential meanings. Being ready, bringing something to light, being at your best, confidence. The Oracle's message: you can be assured that you are ready for anything right now. You know what you need to, your skills are sharp, you've come to this place armed with wisdom and knowledge, and you sense a new phase of your life about to begin. People respond to your confidence and trust you. This is an auspicious time to begin new things. So, I mean, right away, reading that message, I was thinking of obviously the Fool card, an auspicious time to begin new things, right? A new phase of your life about to begin. The Fool could definitely point to that. And then the Six of Wands underneath that as well, saying people respond to your confidence and trust you. So, maybe again, if you're coming out of some type of depression, anxiety, you're leaving that closed off feeling behind, maybe working on this project and the success that comes with it gives you a boost of confidence, has you feeling that way. Certainly a possibility. The relationship message says, when you're confident and happy in your own skin, you are ready for deeper, more intimate relationships. You have nothing to prove right now. You are completely yourself and can handle anything. Love, friendships, and harmonious new connections are all present now or are coming in. You're ready to give and receive from the heart. This is a beautiful place to be. All right, so, that's pretty self-explanatory there. And then the prosperity message says, you have every reason to feel confident. Everything you need to make your success concrete is now at your disposal. You can take action knowing you are ready to step into your power, into your light, and into your service to the world. The direction you're moving in is your destiny. Your soul is smiling with joy as you align with this truth. So for those of you, like I said, it didn't seem like a huge percentage of you, but for some of you where you do decide maybe this was leaving behind a career path, right? Maybe like, okay, I got this far in the career, but I find that I'm always getting into conflicts with my coworkers, or we're looking at things from totally different perspectives, and you're deciding you want to move towards something more fulfilling. Maybe that's saying that the timing was right for that as well, All right, and we'll take a look at the other oracle card you guys got as well. And it's from the Spirit Animal Oracle. You guys got Dove Spirit. It says, be peace. There's the artwork for it. And that's number 21, in case that has any meaning for you. Read that message next. Okay, it says, with her peaceful cooing, the gentle dove spirit invites you to embrace the energy of peace and allow compassion to warm your heart. You always have the power to generate peace within you, and the appearance of dove spirit is a reminder that today and every day is a good day to meditate, to quiet any turbulence within as you embody tranquility. Above, below, and all around you, much may be happening to distract you, but you are called to engage it with the heart of a peacemaker, asking yourself, what would peace do? Can you agree to disagree? The peace you seek rises within and spreads out into the world as Spirit sends her messenger to remind you of the beauty of a harmonious existence with all that is. How beautiful and powerful is your compassionate heart. So, that certainly seems to point to what I was saying there, talking about, possibly avoiding a conflict, and then also possibly maybe that would be representing you then. Like I was saying here, maybe this was either someone coming back to you to, maybe mend a friendship or a relationship of some kind. With that Ace of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and then the Eight of Wands. So maybe that's pointing to it being maybe you having to be the one to make that gesture. But it looks like it would go positively if that's the case with the messages we just read there. And then the mudra card that I pulled for you guys is the Shakata mudra. And here's the actual gesture itself. So basically, for those of you who haven't seen the videos the past couple of months, what mudras are basically is they're gestures that you make with your hands, usually while you're meditating, You could hold them for about 5 minutes. Some they say you could do up to 45 or so. If you're not used to meditating at all, that would feel like forever. So 5 should be reasonable, especially when you're first starting out. And what these are for basically is they help clear blockages. Could be a blockage, physical sometimes, mental, emotional, and the key word for this one is deliverance. And then I'll flip it over so you guys can see the messages that come along with it. Okay, so I'll just hold it up there in case you want to take a screenshot or pause it to read it. But yeah, as you can see, it says for benefits, strengthens the immune system, facilitates breathing in the lower lobes of the lungs, improves concentration, benefits the large intestine. So, especially for those of you if you are working on a big project, or like I said, maybe trying to get some kind of certification going with some kind of exam, the improves concentration part, that could definitely be helpful at the very least. So yeah, there's the gesture. Again, this is one of the rare ones that you use 2 hands, but what I'll do is I'll put the name in the actual description as well in case you guys wanted to look into it some more on, either on YouTube, maybe there are videos about it, or you could at least do a Google search. They'll give you more background on the whole thing, how you could do it, why you would do it, so on and so forth, some other benefits and whatnot. But we'll wrap up there, and I'll talk to you guys next month. Bye.